Welcome to Arts in the City. I'm Magali Laguerre-Wilkinson. In honor of the month of love, we're here at Mahibel, a gourmet chocolate boutique that creates handcrafted chocolates and sweets by passionate chocolate artisans. Every nook and corner of this chocolate wonderland is not only whimsically decorated, but you'll also find mouth-watering chocolate creations mostly sourced from various Honduran farms. A farm-to-table chocolate, if you will. There's a multitude of chocolate confections for any occasion, including Valentine's Day, and the imaginative ganaches, offered in dozens of exotic flavors, are edible works of art, each design telling its own story. Mahibel is also known for its teas and hot chocolate, which is considered to be the best in the city. Plus, they have their own cafe right inside the store where you can enjoy their specialties and more. Thank you very much. The staff at Mahibel could probably write a book about chocolate. And if you love reading as much as you love sweets, then watch as our Carol Ann Riddell takes us to Behind the Book. It's a program that connects New York City students and authors one page at a time.
These third graders are not just listening to a story. What they hear and see in this classroom is possibility. Welcome to Behind the Book, a program that brings accomplished authors into New York City public schools.
The kids are so excited, to meet an author, and just the author inspires them to become better writers, and it just helps them to believe that they too one day could become, fulfill their dreams of becoming an author if they wish.
To meet a book author is really cool because you get to know more about that person in the book.
We saw Behind the Book in action at PS 154 in Manhattan with Paige McBriar, author of Beatrice's Goat, a story about a young girl in Uganda whose life is changed when her family receives a goat.
And the gift of the dairy goat allows her to sell the extra milk to her neighbors and save up enough money to go to school.
The authors in Behind the Book spend time working with the students, helping them to develop their own writing.
I really do get more of a chance to interact with the students, and we do some activities. It's not just me talking to the kids about a book. It's some fun activities that we do, and the fact that I get to come back a second time and each child gets his or her own book. Those are all things that really reinforce the power of reading and the power of learning and the power of community.
Behind the Book is working in 68 New York City classrooms this year and handing out 4,500 books to students. It's a powerful process for kids, going from reader to writer to true author.
By the end of the program, the kids see themselves as rock stars because they've been through a lot of writing and editing with the author. They see themselves as friends with the author, again, even the high school kids. And if they write books, the books go into the school libraries and other kids have an opportunity to take out those books and they become the stars of the school.
Behind the Book is about reading and writing, but it's also about building confidence and critical thinking.
All the programs we do are designed to make them critical thinkers, to make them have to think about what they're doing, develop their own opinions, back up those opinions. These are very basic skills that a person needs in order to be successful in the world.
Success that begins by turning a page. Carol Ann Riddell for Arts in the City.
Up next, our Andrew Falzone takes us to an exhibit in Soho that traces the history of the Rolling Stones from the small stage to their superstardom.
Many music fans consider the Rolling Stones one of the greatest musical acts of all time, and if you're a hardcore Stones fan who can't always get what you want, exhibitionism is sure to deliver a lot of satisfaction.
As Mick said, it's not only about the music, it's about, what you wear and how you look and who photographs you and who films you.
And that explains how the Rolling Stones have been enshrined by fans into a level of musical superstardom few ever see. Of the top 20 grossing tours of all time, 4 belong to the Rolling Stones, and when adjusted for inflation, 2 of the top 3 spots belong to the Bad Boys from London.
And they really participated in these amazing artistic collaborations, which really kind of catapulted their imagery to the forefront of popular culture.
Eileen Gallagher has a lifetime of curation experience, starting in New York's art museums and moving on to the Rock and Roll Hall of Fame before setting out on her own. Nothing can quite prepare you for the depth and breadth of showmanship that is exhibitionism. Housed in the West Village at Industria on Washington Street, it includes over 500 items from the Stones' personal archives just outside of London. It's the first time the band has ever let anyone into the archives, let alone loaned out this rare collection of rock and roll history.
They have a lot of things, and they also don't have a lot of things. The band didn't really keep anything before like the early 70s because they had no idea that they were going to be famous, so they kept nothing, and we had to rely on collectors for the early stuff. But for the later years, they were pretty good about keeping things, particularly fashion. There's about 3,000 items of fashion in the collection.
Many of the band's outrageous outfits are on display, grouped in sections by theme and style. Decades later, their owner still seems to have a certain lust for them.
There's so many good outfits. I'd love to try them all on and swish around that room in them. You know, the kind of big velvet. When you go in, there's this big mauve velvet one, and then big pockets, and there's the Georgian ones and Regency ones, and then there's the kind of Aussie Clark jumpsuits. I'm sure I can still get into them.
An arsenal of the band's guitars are on display, backset with an image of each being played by its famous owner, lyric sheets scrolled by the hands of true rock gods, and a very special piece to Stones drummer Charlie Watts.
My sky blue pearl Ludwig drum kit from 1960. There was an influx in the early 60s of American drums in London, and Ringo had one of the first kits, and I had one pretty close, so it's got a lot of memories really. And if you look at the pictures, there's a lot of shows with that drum kit.
Over the years, the Stones were known for putting on elaborate shows with even more elaborate staging. Dioramas and diagrams show how it all came to life, but one section that's particularly personal to the band is the recreation of their recording studio.
So it's almost school, you know, and that was our learning area. You know, this is where we learn how to record, how we taught other people how to record as well. And every studio is a special room. You work in it, it becomes your home, you know. And so I'm very affectionate really about it when it comes down to it.
But for the band's indestructible guitarist Keith Richards, his favorite part of the exhibit is a recreation of the band's literal home, the London flat where it all began.
It has to be, for me, the apartment. Basically because it was the beginning of the Stones, and also it is so accurate in detail that it's almost an eerie feeling to look at it.
Exhibition runs through March 12th, 2017. The exhibit also includes some elements we couldn't show you here on Arts in the City, like a special backstage area that leads to a 3D concert movie experience, only adding to an already impressive show.
I want to walk away with the same sort of, I guess the same feeling that I do, that, wow, what a trip.
I'm Andrew Falzone for Arts in the City.
8 times a week, the cast of the hit Broadway show Cats transform into singing and dancing felines. Pat Collins went backstage to see how 2 of the stars morph into those 4-legged creatures.
Before they leap onto the stage, the cast members of Cats begin the transition process backstage. 2 of the show's stars, Tyler Haynes and Eloise Kropp, are applying their makeup for a Wednesday matinee. Eloise plays Jenny Anydots and Tyler is Rum Tum Tugger.
How long does it take you to turn into a cat?
It started off when I first was learning the makeup. It took me about an hour and a half. And then I've gotten better through time, and now I'm down to 40 minutes.
My makeup actually only takes me about 15, 20 minutes. I have a much easier plot than Tyler does.
Do you use custom makeup?
This is called Marin. It's a cream blend stick, and it's just theatrical makeup, and I apply it from my eyebrows, my lines, my muzzle and nose, and all that. So, and do it a couple times.
Tell me about that interaction with the audience.
Sometimes I'll come into the audience and people will scream audibly and be frightened by our presence, and then other times people will look at me and stick their tongue out me.
Some audience members that like just to interact with you whether you want to or not. Like there have been times that I've been like grabbed at, or people pull up my wig and they forget that probably shouldn't do that. But
And that you're not really a cat.
that I'm not really a cat.
There are no cat naps for members of the cast. They are in constant motion for more than 2 hours.
It's a marathon. It's the choreography is there's so much, and it's difficult, and there's a rake stage, and we're bouncing all over the place, and I mean dancers are athletes, and we are definitely Olympic athletes in this show. So I think it's just maintaining the stamina, and staying healthy and keeping your body in check and in shape, because it's hard being a cat.
You're doing the same thing 8 times a week, and so mistakes are gonna happen. You're gonna slip, you're gonna fall, you're gonna run into someone, and that's kind of the excitement of live theater, is that it's never the same.
The set is a junkyard, so there are a lot of props.
Yeah. There are so many props that are out of your control. Props are extremely hazardous. One of the balls went in the audience one night. You know, it's not a friendly set.
Eloise, Tyler, and the rest of the cast are part of a global Cats community. Even the makeup and costumes are similar to those in the productions in Japan and France and Mexico as well. What all performers have in common are more than a few aches and pains.
I'm constantly in acupuncture and physical therapy and take Epsom baths every night, and it's just, and then when we have our day off, my body literally crashes.
This show's tough because everything is set to music. So there is a lot of, the whole show is pretty choreographed from when you saw it. I mean, there's not a moment of downtime.
What goes on the face must come off after every performance.
I just smother my face in coconut oil and cleanser, and then I soak a hot towel in water, and then I put the hot towel and water on my face, and I let it sit for a second, then I wipe it all off, and it comes off.
Right.
See, I have to apply so many layers on throughout the show because I sweat it off so much. So I do about 4 different layers, and so it's just a big crusty mask, and so it just takes me a while.
Tyler and Eloise look like this when they are not on stage. They go through this same transformation 8 times a week, as do their fellow castmates.
I think we all were kind of like, what are we getting ourselves into? And it ended up being this amazing experience where we just get to kind of play, and as actors, that's like the greatest gift that you could get.
I'm Pat Collins for Arts in the City.
Most of us think of Broadway show costumes as sparkling and new. But what if the plot calls for something a little grittier? Donna Hanover has more.
When directors need Broadway and off-Broadway costumes to look old and worn, they often turn to Hochi Asiatico. His many shows include Les Miserables, Annie, Eclipsed, and The Color Purple. We caught up with the costume painter and distresser in his studio.
I'm working on Servant of Two Masters, and you can see this is a very old costume that was painted a while ago, and this is a new one that I have now to bring to the same level. When designers come to my studio and there is a show, we have a way to establish the distressing from 1 to 10, and this is a number 10.
Hochi says he gives the clothes a history.
When you distress, you have to do it inside out. You have to do it all over because the actor has to feel that it's real. I don't want it to feel like a costume. I don't want it to feel fake.
Hochi showed us how he uses paint to create shadows or highlights on a garment.
I have to spray with spritz of water, then I do the paint. And with the dryer, pretty much I force it to dry, and the paint will go soft. And you see that the shades are going to be more natural. Okay, now I'm going to be doing some shredding and sanding, is actually pulling down the fiber of the costume so it doesn't look so stiff and so new. This is what I do with the sandpaper. You do it pulling it down the same way that people start living into the clothes. That's why everything goes down. It never goes up. This is a very interesting tool. It's like a wire brush, and it really breaks the fabric very easy. As you can see, it's really pulling down all the edges. We exaggerate a lot. For example, to show the pockets from far away, we do a lot of shadows that in real life probably wouldn't exist. Also, I do a lot of shadow here, so it really creates this dimension between the lapel and the front of the jacket.
Some shows have unique challenges.
When we did the clips, that's the costumes are for Lupita Nyong'o, the designer, even he brought me a sample of the dirt that they had in that particular imaginary town in Africa. So I have to pretty much use the same color or the dirt that they did use on the set to add that into the clothes.
Ho Chi did a lot of work for Les Miserables.
I did only the dressing of the opening scene when you see the convicts, probably 15 guys, and all the costumes were built brand new. So I have to make them look really, really dirty and dingy and old and worn out. Some of them had bullet holes and dry blood.
How does he make costumes look bloody?
Paint. It's all paint. If I'm doing some show that the actor has like a wounded head and the blood is here, is the blood in the head has more oxygen, so it's a darker tone. Also the lighting. You have to be very careful that it doesn't look purple or doesn't look orange.
How did Ho Chi get into the business?
I'm from Dominican Republic, and I studied art and painting there. Then I came to Parsons, where I studied illustration. And after Parsons, I worked for a couple of years as a fashion illustrator. And then one day, actually, out of the blue, I was looking for an additional work, and I ended at a studio where they were looking for fabric painters. I never painted fabric, but I needed a job that day, and I lied, and they hired me. I used to learn by doing this craft through many, many years, and watching people and going to the theater and looking at movies and really paying attention to clothes and how they were out on people. I'm distressing this coat. It's for a show actually called I Like It Like That. It's an off-Broadway show, and this is a homeless coat. I look at homeless people in the subway all the time. I stare at homeless people, and I see where they really put the dirt and where they put the life into it.
Ho Chi also likes painting non-distressed costumes, as he's done for shows like Wonderland, Disney's Tarzan, Ghost the Musical, and Ringling Brothers Circus. For The Color Purple, Ho Chi distressed some costumes and finally painted a special one.
I painted the robe for Jennifer Hudson, which was literally a month of work, just painting one specific robe, that the designer wanted to have this look in the fabric of a robe from the 1930s, and she had this wallpaper, this antique wallpaper that she wanted me to reproduce on the fabric, and it took a long time to do that one. That was one of the most beautiful things that I did last year, I think.
As for the distressed costumes, how does he maintain the same amount of dirty, torn, and worn over a long run?
We have to heat set the paint really well. Having contact with the wardrobe supervisor, and when things get washed a lot, they have to be bring back to the studio and be touched up all the time.
So it's a continuing relationship with the show.
Yes, yeah, totally.
So this guy, who is still a work in progress, already looks like he's had a pretty rough time of it thanks to Ho Chi's artistry. I'm Donna Hanover for Arts in the City.
Who would ever think a 130-year-old synagogue in Chinatown would still be standing? Tina Beth Pina uncovers this month's hidden gem.
If you walk down one of the typical side streets filled with Chinese storefronts, you'll see the Eldred Street Synagogue standing tall. Built 130 years ago during the heyday of Jewish immigration, it went through a period of decline, restoration, and rebirth as the museum at Eldred Street.
It is the first great house of worship built by Jewish immigrants from Eastern Europe. It's a city, it's a state, it's a national historic landmark. It is important both for its history, for its architectural splendor, and for its place within the American Jewish immigrant experience.
Starting in 1881, America opened its doors to over 2.5 million Jewish immigrants who were fleeing the pogroms and persecution in Eastern Europe. They came to start a new life, one with economic opportunity and religious freedom. More than 80% settled in the Lower East Side. In 1887, they built a grand synagogue in Gothic, Romanesque, and Moorish styles.
Look around you. It is beautiful. There are 50-foot high ceilings. There's stained glass everywhere. There are beautiful painted designs. Why were they doing it? Because this is the first time they are building a synagogue in their new country. And they want it to be grand. They want it to stand out. And it stands with Stars of David mounted from the rooftop, announcing their pride in Jewish identities. They wanted it to be beautiful. They were proud Jews and they were proud Americans, and they showed that in this structure.
Stars abound throughout the synagogue, side by side with 5 pointed stars floating in the ceiling and eastern wall. Are they stars from the heavens or from the American flag? Maybe both. Amy Stein Milford likes to think back to the time the sanctuary was filled with worshipers.
First of all, there were 740 seats here, and you can bet that for the Jewish holidays like the Jewish New Year, it would have been full to capacity. It was diverse in the pews. Lawyers, merchants, peddlers, artisans, people working in the garment industry are sitting together in this space. Men downstairs, this is a traditional Orthodox space, women upstairs. So there's prayer going on, there's talking going on, there's socializing going on. It's full and lively and vital in this space.
This synagogue was a vital part of the community until it went into decline, starting with the passage of an anti-immigration law in 1924. Then the Depression in the 1930s, the exodus of Jews to the suburbs post-war, and other immigrant communities moving in the 1950s and 60s. By the 1970s, the sanctuary was in total disrepair, although a small congregation still prayed downstairs. A group of dedicated people miraculously rescued the building, and it took 20 years and $20 million to restore the synagogue to its former glory by 2007.
And then in 2010, one last element was added. This is the only contemporary element in the building, and it is the new east window that was designed by artist Kiki Smith and architect Deborah Gans. So it provided the museum with an opportunity to announce that this is a building whose story hasn't ended, but that has a new chapter, this chapter of rescue and revitalization. And so the window represents the 21st century.
Now, the building is home to the Museum at Eldridge Street, which includes not only this magnificent synagogue, but also a new visitor center with interactive displays and a gallery.
And we welcome tens of thousands of people for tours and walking tours and cultural events and concerts and school programs and family events.
One of the museum's most famous events is its yearly Egg Rolls, Egg Creams, and Empanadas Festival in June. It celebrates the Jewish, Chinese, and Puerto Rican communities of this neighborhood.
I always embrace all people who come here, of all faiths, of all ages, of all cultural backgrounds, and for whatever reason it is. This is a building that has had a storied past, but it has a present and a future too that is full of life and growth, and I hope to see it have many more chapters in its story.
For Arts in the City, I'm Tina Beth Pina.
It's the dead of winter, so what do you do for fun? Well, Barry Mitchell has a suggestion. He puts a new spin on an old favorite.
Go bowling!
Remember bowling? It's changed.
Bowling
is one of those things. If you go on and you just check the Instagram feeds and hashtag bowling, you're going to see pictures of their shoes. You're going to see pictures of the strike dances. It's a really great moment that people want to share, and that's very relevant right now.
Coley Edison is Vice President of Marketing for Bowlmore AMF. We're at their Times Square location, which just underwent a multi-million-dollar renovation. Bowling has gone trendy and upscale.
We like to say that Bowlmore is more like bowling in a nightclub. What bowling offers to the millennial is the exact opposite of this digital world we live in. It's a true analog experience. You are living, breathing. You're hearing the ball hitting the pins and you're there. We want you to have the ultimate night out, the ultimate day out, the ultimate birthday party or corporate event. We have everything from, I'm talking filet mignon and bacon wrapped dates that you can have at your private event. Or just, burgers and hot dogs and fries for the kids. And what we've tried to do is bring in the FEC or Family Entertainment Center concept. So you can bowl and you can also use the arcade. And in our Chelsea Piers location, you can play laser tag. So I think it's just about what else we can offer.
In the 1890s, bowling had all the charm of a sweatshop. Ragamuffin pin setters worked for tips while dodging oncoming bowling balls hurled by stogie-smoking gentlemen.
Maybe you've never been in a bowling establishment before. Or perhaps you have, and it wasn't this kind of place.
The invention of the automatic pin setting machine in the early 1950s eliminated the need for pin boys. Bowling was repositioned as safe, clean, family fun for the post-war generation.
I've been bowling in this league, I'd say almost 20 years, but I've been coming to this house, I'd say about a little over 40 years.
Proudly old school is Whitestone Lanes in Flushing. Lisa Macaluso's family built and has owned and operated it since it opened 58 years ago.
It's still a family-run business. A lot of bowling centers have changed and become entertainment centers, per se. We've really, truly remained a bowling center. That is our goal, to have leagues with children when they're small, and then graduate into the teens and high school, and then go into our senior leagues.
Mike Rossi, you're president of the Senior League.
I come from a family of bowlers. Everyone in my family bowled. My grandfather owned a bowling alley in Long Island City. I bowled my first 225 game, lane 15. I still remember that. I was 16 years old. So
I'll never forget that.
Never forget that.
I'm 62, and I think I am the baby of the group. But we go up to the oldest member, I believe, is 89 years old.
You know, you go out and bowl and you exercise, and you can do it at any age. Well, I like to learn, and I like the competitiveness about it, and I like to become better because I like it as a sport. But I do know for a lot of people, it's also a socialization. If I could do it every day, I would, but at least 4 times a week.
I do have children's leagues on Saturday mornings. Right now we're running a Marvel's comic. We've done Minions in the past, where the children bowl for 16 weeks, and after they complete the 16-week session, they get a character bowling ball of their choice. We bowl Saturday mornings from 10 to 12. They get 2 games of bowling, instructions from a certified instructor. Then I give them lunch, and it's an opportunity to make new friends and learn how to bowl.
At Bowlmore AMF, we have over 25 million guests visit our centers every year, and last year we did over 80,000 events.
Wow. Okay, you win. Okay.
Told you. The business continues to stay open at this point 24 hours a day. We are still here, and we're going to be here.
Hey, Wii bowling is nice, but it's a video game. Come out and be in the real world. Turn off the TV. Get off your butt and bowl. Barry Mitchell for Arts in the City.
That's our show for today. For more information on any of our stories, go to cuny.tv. I'm Magali Laguerre Wilkinson, and we'll see you next time on Arts in the City.